तो शुरू करते हैं, ध्यान से देखना, एक रैपिड रिवीजन कर लेते हैं. अगर हम बात करते हैं, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट दिस, टिल नाउ वी आर डन विद द टू चैप्टर्स, दैट इज चैप्टर नंबर 1 एंड चैप्टर नंबर 2. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट चैप्टर नंबर 1, which was with reference to cost sheets, so it means what you should know is the format of cost sheet. If you talk about the format of cost sheet, your cost of a product will be divided into three parts, that is direct cost and your indirect cost. If I say direct cost, there is a direct material, then there is a direct labor, then there is a direct expenses. When I say this, that is your direct cost, you will take the total of this, then you're gonna get your prime cost. If you talk about prime cost, then there are three types of overheads: factory, office and selling and distribution. So the first thing what will come is factory overhead. When you add factory overhead, now you will get total factory cost, which is gross factory cost. Why it is gross? Because adjustment with reference to WIP is yet to be made. You need to add and less WIP, that is add opening stock of WIP less closing stock of WIP. After that, the answer which you will get is nothing but your net factory cost, which is also known as works cost. In that case, after factory cost, what comes is QRAP. So what you're gonna write is QRAP minus CRAP. Once that is being done, what you will get is your cost of production. Once you get your cost of production, you need to make adjustment for finished goods, that is add opening stock of finished goods less closing stock of finished goods, and then what you get is your COGS, that is COGS. Then in COGS you add two things. These are your two overheads, we can say, which are being added. That is your selling, first administration, then there is a selling and distribution, office and administration and selling and distribution. Once that is being added, you get your total cost, which is also known as cost of sales. Then profit is being added, then you get your selling price, that is sales value, we can say. Acha. Now few things which we need to take into consideration are those, like if I talk about this till here, like if you want to calculate CPU, if you want to calculate CPU till cost of production, there is one thing. If you want to calculate CPU after COGS, there is another formula. If you want to calculate CPU up to cost of production, the formula will be total cost, that is total column divided by quantity produced. Acha. If you want to divide here, if you want to calculate CPU, that it will be total divided by quantity sold. Acha. Then, sir, how do you calculate this closing stock of finished goods? It is nothing but closing stock quantity into cost of production per unit, whatever is there in cost of production, that is the formula. So that is how. And if the question is silent, that we know that administration will be always the administration this. Okay, now after that, having done this format, if I talk about this, that is second chapter, that is there are two parts. One is unit costing and one is batch costing. Whether it is unit or batch, one thing we know that is here the cost sheet, it is nothing but extension of cost sheet. When you talk about unit costing, we need to remember now here there are three types of costs which we are going to deal with, which is a variable cost, semi variable, then there is a variable cost, then there is a fixed cost, then there is a semi variable cost. If you talk about a variable cost, the variable cost remains constant in per unit. The cost which is constant in per unit is variable. The cost which is constant in total is fixed. The cost which is neither constant in per unit nor in total is semi variable. When the cost is semi variable, always you will make one working, which is nothing but your change in cost upon change in units, or I can say quantity. Then you will get variable cost per unit over here, and accordingly the solution will be presented. Or I can say that in simple words, when the question comes on this, when the question comes on this part, when the question comes on this part, you will have to make two working notes. The working note number 1 will be classification of the cost, and working note number 2 will be semi variable cost. You will make two working notes, then you will make your own cost sheet. Then the question can come on the batch costing. When I say batch costing, is nothing but your cost will be calculated for one batch. We did one basic question, then there was one extra question where you will first calculate overhead amount in the first working note, then you will make your normal cost sheet, and the things will be done. Then one overall position. So that is the summary as to what we did. If you want, if you just take the screenshot, yeah, that is the summary which you can see. That is the summary, like we can say that in 6 minutes we did this much. Yeah, it was like the best way. Acha, the one more thing which we can say that this summary is done.